and enable. How do where's my admit all? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. All right, we are on the hour. I think we are golden. Let me add spotlight. And let's add us another spotlight. I think we are streaming. Let me verify that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Waka, waka, waka. All right.
Awesome.
And
Hawkeye made it. That's my
yes.
friend Ethan. He made it. He said he couldn't earlier. Well done.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Cool. All right. And we are golden. So awesome, guys. Cool. We are back. We are back. And I'm not in my car like we were last week in 115-degree car and my laptop overheating and everything else. And last week was pretty nutty, guys. But thank you everyone for joining us here again. So for everyone over in YouTube land, um, as a little intro here, we do hold these coherence meditations every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We do restream over to YouTube. The restreaming over to Facebook is temporarily unavailable while they work on, I don't know how to do the restream over there. So we'll hopefully get that done soon. Our main YouTube channel is over at the Cosmic Gaia community, which is, I think, over on this one right here, this YouTube QR code link right there, Cosmic Gaia community. You can find our restreams over there as well as our recordings over there. We do hold our live over here on Zoom. We do welcome you over here, and we would love to have you over here. And that doesn't mean that you need to share your video or anything, but just to have you here present live on the Zoom would make a big difference. Do go ahead and right here, we have a link over freedomsnap.org/Seth, where you can join an email newsletter that we are currently merging with up above right here. Seth's new website, I'm Awake Now What, where you can also find his book, The Fight to Enlight. It is free. You just pay the shipping. There's a PDF copy also. And I think the shipping's only like $7 or $8. So it's well worth it, guys. We got a lot of amazing feedback recently. Seth has actually posted. I didn't realize that Seth had a naturalnews.com post a couple of years ago over on Mike Adams' website. So I got to go back and I got to read that. I know it was very brief, but hey, all right. Anyways, so do subscribe, like, share this to friends and family you think would benefit. We had the first 10 to 15 minutes with the intro and brief discussion. And while we're in our coherence meditations, you are more than free to drop off, to stay in your trance, to stay deep. And do feel free to stay on. We can end it then, as we ordinarily do. And we do encourage everyone to do this as a daily practice. Just take a little time out each day. I was on a conscious business webinar just last week, and there was this one guy that came in there. He said one of the things, and he was just an ordinary average Joe. He was a little bit of the goth type, but he said there like, "Hey man, this spiritual stuff, it freaking works." I think he just started meditating about 6 months ago, but he just had to stress that, man, it's good stuff. So keep at it, guys. Just don't keep it in your daily routines. So last week we were trying to break the spell. Unfortunately, we kind of had some hiccups. Seth had his laptop overheat, and I was drenched in my own sweat at a water park in the car. So we're gonna try it again this week. So today's title is Breaking the Spell. So if you do have a particular topic in mind, do please comment below on the video, and we'll check those out. We'll put those in the queue. And I think that's just about it. So guys, get comfortable, grab some water, and let's get this thing started. So Seth, awesome seeing you again. How you
Oh,
doing?
always, always. I'm fantastic. Yeah, the weather's a lot cooler here now, so it's a lot more tolerable. My computer is just barely warm. I've never had that happen, just shut down. But I
You
guess
know,
it was the perfect time, right? We kind of started unbreaking the spell, and then the spell came back.
yeah, I was just out cleaning my pool like about an hour ago, and I was just, I was sweating, and I got back in here, and same time this same time last year, my AC upstairs went out, and it just went out again the other day. So hopefully, I don't have any more of that. But yeah,
Well, it is that season. Even where I live, the summers can be brutal, but especially the humidity gets so like this morning when I woke up, my house windows were covered in steam and you couldn't even see out of it. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, honestly. Like every window was just water on it, totally like bogged it right out. It's wild. So that's where we're. And before we get started, I want to share this with you guys because I talked to a friend earlier and he was like, he asked a great question. He's like, well, how do you explain what you do in like at a kindergarten level? And I told him, listen to your heart, listen to your heart and actively create a relationship with it, essentially by paying attention to it. And he was like, well, he goes, that's great. I love it. He's like, but I can't feel my heartbeat. Because a lot of our work here is based on that. If you can feel your heartbeat, you can then begin to feel it anywhere in your body. And when you can feel the pulse of your heartbeat in your body, you can literally feel it. And you have that smile on your face where you're changing your body chemistry to self-love. You focus anywhere in your body, feeling that pulse with that self-love, you literally create it. It like totally breaks up blockages and you become so much more well. I bought a anatomy and physiology book because I knew like if I can feel this everywhere, like I want to know what is what. And that was incredible because I got to learn where all my organs and glands and everything were. And so I was able to pinpoint all these different points in my body and feel my heart beating and all my health issues just so, but nobody's ever said anything here, but maybe for those who don't know, or if they're not able to feel their heartbeat. So I told my friend about this. It's a stethoscope. Put it in your ears. It's at every hospital. And then you take that, put it on your chest, and you can hear your heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. And I've always wanted to do classes where everybody had a stethoscope because it allows this work to just take off. It's incredible. It's amazing. But the issue, I've gotten a few pairs. You put these on your ears, they're like really in there. It's kind of like a vice, like Greg said. Not quite, but if you leave it on for more than 5 minutes, it's not really that comfortable. It just gets tighter and tighter. So if anybody can look around, they're expensive too. There's ones that are really cheap. I actually bought a kid's one tonight because it might work, but there's all kinds of different quality levels of them. And when you have them in your ear and you hear your heartbeat, you're able to feel it much better. And when we do classes with people who are wearing them, feeling that, like I said earlier, we will jump ahead at quantum pace because when you hear it, you're also able to feel it at the same time. And the more you create that practice of taking your sense of self, who you believe yourself to be, and attuning it to this miraculous, beyond genius, innate intelligence life force that we all have, that we all are, that we are all a part of, that when we connect to individually and together as a community, we change everything. And especially like last week's topic and tonight about the degree that words hold power over us. You start to listen to your heartbeat and you feel it, you're able to turn on another level of communication. Words don't go there. They just don't. And so to be able to have that and develop that and start becoming more conscious of what it's like to be conscious of your consciousness, it's what the world needs. So homework for everybody, try to find a stethoscope. It's Greg, can you type it out? Stethoscope in the chat
Stethoscope.
box. Yeah.
STET stethoscope. There we
Yes.
go. Yeah, I saw on Amazon. I mean, there are some pretty crazy ones too, like $300 that have Bluetooth capabilities, and I mean, it might be pretty overkill, but there's even like a $7 pair, and I doubt that is even worth it, you
I'm
know.
gonna
But
keep looking. I try to find like earbud ones. That would be fantastic. But I think the way they're made, that's made of this thick like rubber wire. And I think it's probably like resonant, so you can hear your heartbeat and it's being fed up through these tubes. But seriously, if you guys can find these and somebody gets a pair that you can keep in your ears for more than 10 minutes comfortably, let's everybody get those. And let's do, whether it's on here or we could do another class and literally do this together, because that's how you take leaps and bounds in your quantum version of your best self.
yeah, I think that would actually be a good practice actually to learn how to adjust maybe like your meditation practice to I don't know. I mean to listen to your heart for one, but to I don't know, like maybe figure
We're
out
on.
what you could do differently to adjust your heart brain coherence maybe. And I brought this up just prior. This is one of the muses, MUSE, that you put on your head, and you can actually monitor your brain wave states. I mean, that might be a little bit overkill, but we're talking about heart brain coherence, right?
Yeah, it's not overkill at all. I mean,
And
the cost of this compared to what it can do is worth it. I mean, there's ones for thousands, don't go anywhere near that. But if somebody has money and they want to play around and try to find some that are comfortable, it would be great. Because also, too, Greg, like you said, when you wear these and you do your own meditation and wear them every day, meditate, whatever kind of meditation you do, if you listen to these, if you have your own that you like to do or a mix of it all, when you have your own stethoscope and you can do whatever heart brain coherence meditation practice that you love, you take quantum leaps in your growth. So get that practice every day. I was doing it for a while, but I already heard it. I can feel my heart beating. I can hear it. It's just, I created a habit of that always being there, which everybody else can too. I just wanted to try to find a way for others to have an easier time developing that habit of listening to the heartbeat. So, all right.
makes
Well, with
sense.
that, I love this topic because it is everything gets called into question. All of our religious beliefs, all of our political beliefs, all of everything that makes life what it is gets called into question, because no matter who we think we are, and most of everything that we think we know we are comes from all these different belief systems through the filter of language, of words. And so we form these entire self-identities based upon the languages we speak. And if we were suddenly to just not have any language to speak, who would we be? Who would we be? What would this world be like? Well, that'd probably be pretty chaotic. But honestly, if you didn't have the ability to communicate, how would you communicate? I mean, for one, all these psychic things start to come aboard. And I know for me, a lot of psychic stuff that isn't in English. It's the only language I really know. but I can hear so many other languages in me all the time, and I don't speak them because just I don't have a reason to. But there's so many different ways of perceiving reality, of communicating in this world with ourselves, just like our heartbeat is always communicating to us, but we don't pay attention. We're just too busy with all the things of this world. So we're going to get started, but I want to say again, this is such an important process because without even knowing it, we create a prison of ourself, a prison of emotional and mental belief systems that we just keep engaging with over and over and over and over. And the more we do that over and over, the more we create a habit of neural pathways and neural networks that connect to, and we keep doing the habit automatically over and over, thinking about who we think we are, feeling all the things we're used to feeling. And in that, we literally create a prison of self. How would you say it? We imprison ourselves with mental beliefs and emotional feelings. And most people don't ever get out of it. For me, I had to go to prison to find out that I had been in a prison years before I was actually in a prison. So, with all that said, get comfortable and close your eyes. Allow whatever you're sitting on to really support you. I know it sounds silly, but let your chair or your couch or your floor or your bed, let whatever you are on be your best friend for this time you spend together. And so when your body weight is stable, then that's a lot of pressure that you're taking off your body that you normally hold a lot. So if you're sitting down or if you're laying down, your body weight is taken care of. So you don't need to think about it. And because your body weight is taken care of, you have the ability to relax much deeper. And the more you allow yourself to relax, the more you begin to feel your body, your heartbeat, everything that the autonomic nervous system is sharing with you. Your heartbeat is literally sending messages to you. It always is. And most of us don't listen because we're so busy believing who we think we are in a world that we have built all of that self-identity with languages that were never ours to begin with, that we were taught to keep us in line, to keep us disconnected from the miracle of life that we've never not been connected to. And so when we're totally relaxed and we are allowing our heart to literally speak to every part in your body, and to begin to feel that this whole process that is happening to you internally is also communicating to you. And it's not communicating in a language type of way. It communicates through a plethora of different layers, levels, and dimensions and spaces that have their own ways of communicating, that there aren't any words to call this communication, but it's still there. And the more that we begin to let go of the self-identity that has formed through language, the more we begin to hear all kinds of different sounds that our bodies are always communicating to us. And so when you allow yourself to just be calm, while at the same time keeping your awareness right, we are literally creating a state of balance. It's like the body could just go to sleep, but at the same time, we have reminded ourselves to be aware. And the more that we get into these states, the more every system in our body begins to communicate freely without the stress impulses that we are always projecting at it, not even realizing we do that. And this offers us the ability to start attuning ourselves to reality, the real reality, not on the TV, not in all of our friends and family who are worried, not in all the different ways people share information and kind of abuse it through gossiping. None of that really matters, especially when you consider that what is already happening in and around your body, that's the news. That is the signals that when we pay attention to, it begins to pay attention to us, paying attention to it. And the more that we do that, the greater we are able to generate new forms of communication that don't have any words to explain, but that are always there, that are always communicating to us, through us. And the more we begin to pay attention to that, the greater our ability to free ourselves of this mental and emotional prison, a prison that we created unconsciously, consenting to all the belief systems made up of all of the words that we all share and that give power over us. And it's as fascinating as could be because everybody has a story. Everybody thinks they know something about the nature of reality. And of course they do. How could they not? There is a miraculous, beyond genius intelligence that is working our entire being, whether we are awake or we are asleep. But it's through these languages that we form belief systems, that we live our lives going around here and there, meeting people. Everybody essentially is doing all of the same things that they usually do every day. And because we just think that's who we are, we literally form a box, prison of self-identity, of who we think we are. And the entire world calls that normal. The fact that there's a beyond genius intelligence, a miraculous force of energy beyond comprehension, that goes over everybody's head. And it's so peculiar. How could that happen? That is the primary nature of reality. And it just goes right over our heads. And the normal sense of self we believe ourselves to be takes over and begins to direct us. Not this miraculous life force, the belief system formed through words in language. That is what guides us when we're not paying attention to reality. Our self-identified state of being formed through all the messages of this world, that becomes our primary guiding light. And yet, even that is miraculous. The realization that we have that any of this is happening at all, it is all, even the pain, suffering, our families, our loved ones, our world, the cities, the countries, all of this exists because we are here to observe it all into being. We are viewing reality with all the filters that the institutions of men have taught all of us. And we form ourselves out of that. All these words, all these beliefs. And we let that be our guiding light. So we're going to change that. So as you're laying down or sitting, as you are allowing whatever it is that's holding your body weight, let your awareness relax even deeper, meaning do your best to just let go of every feeling, every thought. See if you can just release everything and create a state of being that is so calm, so relaxed, that you are able to hear the sounds of reality. Our nervous systems are buzzing. Our heads are having an electrical storm every time we think anything. And throughout the body, all of this phenomena is happening, whether we pay attention to it or not. So let's pay attention. You're totally relaxed. You're totally calm. And yet you're intrigued enough to not let yourself go to sleep. You're balanced between your body wanting to rest and at the same time your mind is awake. And in this state of complete interested awareness, see if you can feel your heartbeat. Because if you really want to talk to a doctor that is going to give you the most accurate feedback, you have it. That doctor that cares about your well-being, it's already in your chest. And the more that you listen to your heartbeat, the better you become at feeling it in your chest, and then eventually anywhere in your body. And so from this state of being totally relaxed, feeling your heartbeat, just slowing your breathing down just a little bit. And elevating the emotional feelings in your body by smiling. Some people think that it's faking happiness. And it might be. But regardless, when you choose to put a smile on your face and you feel it uplifting you, feeling happy. Whether that is fake or not makes no difference, because you are choosing to do that. And you are tangibly feeling that effect of your smile altering your body chemistry. And when you're aware of your heart and you can feel the heartbeat and you can feel your pulse anywhere in your body, that smile, the feeling of it is being carried through every part of your body. And what happens if we continue to practice? What happens if we make such a focused intention of paying attention to what is always trying to communicate to us, but that we don't pay much attention to? What would it be like if we began to really love, to love ourselves enough to acknowledge that no matter who we think we are, that no matter what, we are this creative force of nature, of frequency that is so powerful, it can only be recognized from a state of calm. That if we allowed ourselves the ability to get this relaxed, to pay right attention, that the more we do it, we begin to feel the creative frequency of this life force that begins to flood all of our organs, all of our glands. It begins to flood every single part of our being with a beyond describable force of energy that feels like the creative force that it is. And we know what creative feels like. We all do. And when we realize the feeling of that force is always there, waiting for us to communicate, and we begin to reciprocate, we begin to not even care that much about who we are, about paying our bills, about gossiping, about whatever. All of that stuff becomes irrelevant when you tune into this life force. And when you tune into it regularly, the feeling of it becomes so strong that you don't have to go unconscious of it anymore. And you actually are given the ability to live in this world, to be conscious of this feeling of connection, no matter what is happening, and to create the habit of feeling this creative impulse of life itself, and to then be in this world in harmony with the real reality there's nothing that anybody can say about it because we have moved beyond all limitations that we didn't know were limiting us. And we literally begin to break the bars of the prison we are in. And we remove the bricks of the foundations of all that we think we are and that we believe this world to be. And when we get good at doing this, everything we do in this world is an expression of that ecstatic, creative impulse, because that's what made all of this. And so we still can go out in the world to live these lives, to go through struggles while having the ability to trust your life force so much that you are granted resilience in the face of adversity. And you become so in tune with what life is really doing to you, through you, that anybody who comes near you is going to feel something. They likely won't be able to explain it, or they might use words that point to it, but that aren't necessarily the state of being you embody. And the more you do this, the more you want to do it. And the more you want to do it, the more you are able to create a habit of doing this so that every cell of your being begins to be illuminated by your choice to pay attention to life and then to feel the power of what it's like to have heart, brain, whole body, whole soul coherence, and to be able to live from that place no matter what. And when you are in that, no matter what happens, you are a patient, an observational student of everything happening in your life and in this world. And when you are in that state of being, you are ready to serve. Whether it means using languages or not, it makes no difference. Because what you feel you want to communicate to the world, it is already happening. This body is always communicating to all of itself and to the self-identified sense of self that has emerged through the world and all that it teaches us. And when there's enough of us doing this and sustaining it, that's when things begin to really speed up, to really shift beyond all the limitations of language and words that we temporarily adopted without even realizing what that meant. And then when you are in this state, when people talk to you, you will be listening to the tone of their voice, to the space between their words. And when you reciprocate and communicate back to them, you're also going to be doing the same. And though they may not have the words for it, their subconscious will get it nonetheless. So our bodies are totally relaxed. We're breathing slow, but a little deeper. We are feeling our heartbeat, and we are instantaneously transforming our body chemistry from kind of stressed out into happy or joyful just by the smile. And there's a part of us that knows we need to go out in the world and communicate. But when we do it from a place of integrity, in harmony with its essential, miraculous nature, when we do whatever it takes to begin to habituate focusing on the greatest miracle there ever could be, that force of nature grounds to you, through you. And while it's grounded, it is also infinite in its expansion. True galactic awareness, true universal awareness, and true divine, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever we are, this force in us is undeniably a lot more tuned in than we are. But that when we allow that life force to guide us instead of the socially indoctrinated self, when we allow our intelligence to be influenced by this innate intelligence that wants us to be happy, that wants us to exercise our creative abilities throughout our entire being and out into this world. This is what's real. We are not cogs in any machine. We are the illumination of nature herself. If we were running even at half the capacity that we are able to, we wouldn't need languages in any way, shape, or form. If we were functioning beyond half of our capacity, this world would very quickly change to be attuned to all of the creator beings that are aware of their real reality, first and foremost. And all the institutions and all the systems of this world that create pain, suffering, and chaos and disorder suddenly begin to be influenced by order, by love, by empathy, compassion, the best of what we have the ability to create and to share. We attune our body that already is made of that creative energy. We just got to let our sense of self catch up to it. So before we come out of this, I want everybody to focus on their water or their juice. And if you don't have it, it's okay because you actually do. The most profound structured water is already in our bodies. It is living water conducting this bioelectromagnetic frequency, this miraculous life force. The water in our body is carrying all these messages through its structure. So if you don't have any water, just focus on the water that you are. 60 to 70% for most people. So if you can feel your heartbeat, see if you can allow that heartbeat to pump or to vortex or to spin with every beat, this energy field that we are. So it's almost like our entire body is glowing by the heart creating and processing this life force. And the more we allow ourselves to be aware of it through our minds, that's when we begin to structure the life force that we are begins to become more coherent. And all we're doing is paying attention to it with a heart of self-love and respect and reverence. And that energy that is pulsing through the world is pulsing through everything close to us. Our water, whatever surface we are on. When you become conscious of the sacredness of all of this, no matter how difficult it can be, no matter how awful it can sometimes look, you pay attention to this life force, it pays you back. And it's priceless. So one more time, put a smile on your face. Feel that smile. See if you can let the feeling of that smile be in the water that you brought. Then rub your hands together, create friction. Put the palms of your hands over your eyes. See if you see or sense anything. And when you're ready, take a sip of your water. And as you go out into the world, don't take it so literally anymore. Because those words, they're out of here. So, Greg, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody here. Please share this, like, love, tag people. Help us get out there to the 100th monkey, then the 1,000th monkey, and the 1,000,000th monkey. Let's change this world. Let's make it healthy. Let's make it a playground. And let's solve all the problems that exist through the solution that we all are. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. I forgot the key point, actually, when I did the intro. That guy that started about 6 months ago, he actually said that he used to have seizures. And after 6 months now, he's been doing meditation practices. He no longer has seizures. So pretty amazing.
It's beautiful, yeah.
So thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a great rest of the week, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.